Flip Pidot, who is from predictit.org, a prediction site that is basically, you would classify it really as betting, but it's not. They're actually just trying to figure out when people put their money down and put their money where their mouth is this a better way to predict what's going to happen? And today, we're talking about the election.
Flip, can we just run through a bunch of these races? Is the data accessible enough to you for us to just go through a bunch?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, great. Let's start with a couple that seem to lean towards the GOP right now in the Senate with North Dakota and Texas, Ted Cruz and Heidi Heitkamp.
Yes, so Ted Cruz we have not completely out of the woods yet, but a heavy favorite at 80% likely to win. Mm-hmm. And Heidi Heitkamp, basically the exact opposite situation. We have her trading at 20 cents on the dollar, so 20% chance to hang on.
Okay. We talked about Arizona already. Let's go to Florida, Nelson versus Scott.
So Nelson we have a little bit closer, but still with a somewhat comfortable lead of 62-38. So traders seem to suspect that he's got a strong edge here, but by no means locked up.
All right. Indiana, will Donnelly hold on to the seat?
That's one of our very closest right now. Let me just refresh it. We've got Donnelly at 48% to hang on. So this one could be a late night for us. That's one of the more interesting races on the board right now.
Montana is an interesting one because there hasn't been a ton of polling of Montana with Tester going for a re-election. What did the prediction market say?
We're giving Tester 65% chance. So again, a notable edge, but again, not one that's locked up. So yeah, polls had him as limited as they were. I think up by 3 on average. So our pricing is actually tracking that fairly well. They're giving him a bit of an edge, but not huge.
When you look at polls, they have to have a certain number of people participating before it really kind of settles. Do you have that number, or is there that number in this kind of a market?
The polling number?
Yeah, the polling numbers. You don't have to have certain sample size before it's accurate. Yeah, how do you do sample size in this? Like,
is there a liquid enough market, I guess, to make these things really predictive?
Sure. Yeah, we find that you do have to reach a certain kind of minimum liquidity for these markets to be drawing out the collective intelligence well enough. But that for markets like this, in focus, nationally relevant markets, that we easily eclipse that threshold. So, for instance, in the tester market, we had 44,000 shares trade yesterday.
Oh wow!
And in total, over that, we've got 156,000 in that market, all in. So, and some of the bigger ones are they'll be trading up in the hundreds of thousands easily, and possibly into the millions as tonight wears on.
Let's hit 3 more before we go. Nevada, West Virginia, and Tennessee. Can you give us those 3?
Sure. Nevada, we've got Rosen at 69%. So that one looks like it will be a pickup. Yep. I'll just refresh it to make sure that's still
because I think that the polls kind of think that probably will be very, very close. But there's a pretty decent lean there.
So we are showing it at, I just updated, it's now 60-40 against Heller. So still not looking great, but it's interesting that is a race where the polls have it truly dead even. So the traders feel that the polls in this case actually are off of it.
Okay, West Virginia and Tennessee, if you have them?
Yes, let me just see. West Virginia, we have Manchin at 80%.
Okay.
Let me see if that's still. And
Probably.
Then the other was
Tennessee.
We have Blackburn also at 80%.
That's a big one.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's a big one.
Yeah. Blackburn at 80% is a pretty good number for her in Tennessee. I don't know what Taylor Swift thinks about that. She's probably very disappointed.